What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to bring you a long-term review of the Nikon 35mm 1.8s. This is a lens I've owned for about 6 months now, so I thought now would be a good time to get a good review up of it to kind of give you guys an idea if it's maybe something for you. I do want to have a disclaimer here in that I'm not a professional, I'm an amateur hobbyist, so it's going to be coming from that point of view of a general consumer. If you're looking for more in-depth, going over elements and how many ED elements and spherical elements are in this is not going to be the review for you. It's going to be more geared towards someone who just is purchasing this as maybe a hobbyist, or if you're looking to get into some semi-pro stuff, it may apply to you also. So I use this as a 50-50 split between photo and video. There's not one that I shoot more than the other. I like to use it for both, and 35mm is usually the focal length that I go to, especially for my photos. It's a photo length that I really like, and it's a good all-purpose carry-around lens. So I'm going to go over the price, the build quality, who it may be for, who it may not be for, kind of some focusing and what I think it is using from day to day, and final conclusion. So first let's go over the actual build quality of this. So I'll get you a little closer shot of the lens. So now that we're looking at the build quality of the lens, the first thing I want to say is that it feels extremely well built. It's a mixture of plastic and metal. The focus ring here is metal, so if you want to do any manual focusing, it has a really nice big smooth focus rings. I believe Nikon does focus by wire, but it focuses very smooth, very quiet. It's a very silent lens. Again, this is plastic up here, and I believe this kind of feels like metal, but it's kind of hard to distinguish which part of it is metal and what part of it is plastic, but it feels well built. It's not very heavy. It's a little bit on the longer end than I would like for a mirrorless lens, but overall it has a nice weight to it, and it fits really well on the Nikon Z camera, especially the Z6 and Z7. So you do have a little bit of weather seal in here, so it will withstand a little bit of the temperature, dust. So probably a little bit of moisture probably won't hurt it. It has a sealing around here, so it seals up once you get it on the lens. A little rubber seal there, which is nice because not all lenses come with that. Nice metal mount here, so that is probably going to last forever over some of the more plastic ones. And that's it. Nothing too big. I do like it that it has the weather sealing there, your autofocus or manual if you want to toggle that. I've never used it in manual, so I can't give you an idea of how that is. It is made in China, which some people frown upon, but honestly, I don't care. It feels pretty well built. And there's the front element there. This is a 62mm filter size, so if you're looking to get a filter on it, like I have here, you'll have to make sure you get a 62mm one. The filter threads here are plastic, so that's something you have to take into account. But once you get a filter on there, unless you're using a lot of ND filters or polarized filters, you should be fine. Then the lens hood just mounts on like that. Basically like any other standard lens hood does, you line it up, and that's what it's like with that on. Really small, compact design. Again, it has a little bit of weight to it, but not anything too drastic. It's not the RF50 1.2 that weighs 6 pounds or feels like it. Sorry if you guys can hear the baby in the background. He is joining me in this review, but build quality seems great, so I'm really happy with that. So now we got to take a quick glance at the lens. The build quality seems excellent. Again, I think this will last for a long time. I don't think anyone will have any issues down the line as long as you take care of it. Again, it's made in China, but it seems very well built from at least the sample copy I have here. The only negative I see about the build quality is that this will scratch up, especially if you hit it on anything. This metal is pretty flaky, and what I've seen from old previous copies of other people's lenses, that you can get some issues with it there. Sorry to hear the baby in the background, but he's kind of helping me out here. So build quality is great as far as it comes to shooting with photo and video. This is all of their US lenses are very sharp. I've used the 24mm, 35 and 50. I rented the 24 and 50, and I'm using the 24 now. But this lens is very sharp, even at 1.8, especially in the center. Obviously in the corners, when you shoot it wide open, it's not going to be as sharp as in the corners. But in the center of the frame at f1.8, it's one of the sharper lenses I've ever had. And I actually previously, the sharpest lens I had before that was a Canon 1.4L, the first version. but this is miles above that. They've really outdone their job there when it comes to sharpness. Once you get it down to say f2.8, that's where it really shines in the whole entire frame, at least from my eyes. I will get you guys some pictures up that I've taken throughout. But once you get it to f2.8 is where I think it really shines and the quality gets up there. So I haven't done any landscape with it. I generally always shoot at f1.8, but once you get to f2.8, even 2.5, it really starts to sharpen up. Contrast is great at all f-stops, at least from what I've seen. If you're used to Nikon colors, you'll really like it. It has that nice pop to it. The colors are a little bit more, they're not as bright as Canon's, but I tend to like Nikon colors a little better, but I think it's an excellent when it comes to colors. As far as background blur, that's where it kind of is a mixed bag. Background blur is kind of a subjective anyways. I think it's way better than the old 1.8G ED lens, but it's not going to be up there with some of your like Sigma 1.4 or your Canon 1.4 35mm lenses. But I've been really pleased with it. It seems to have a more neutral background blur than previous old 1.8. Like the G lens was kind of all over the place. Sometimes the background blur was really good, sometimes it wasn't, but this seems to do a pretty good job. You're gonna have to get pretty close though, because it's only 35mm. But if you stop down to f1.8, you can get a good amount of separation, especially if you're doing subject shots, which I'll kind of give you some samples here of some photos I've taken to show you that. f2.8 is excellent. This would probably be an excellent travel and landscape lens, because once you get above 2.5, 2.8, it really starts to sharpen up. It's probably even sharper at f8. So if you're doing from just a standard photography standpoint and you like the 35mm focal length, I think this is the one for you. I probably wouldn't get anything else. I love the 35mm focal length, but it's not as good for video. The autofocus is great, it's silent. All the S series lenses are extremely silent and quick in autofocus. The negative is that it's just not quite wide enough for video. At least handheld, you do have a little bit more wobble than you do at say the 24mm focal length. So if you're looking to do a lot of video with this, I'd maybe look at the 24mm. It's just a little bit easier to handle. It's a little bit easier to get a lot more into the background, especially if you want something a little wider to kind of get a more scenic, more background into your scene. But if you're looking for a one lens that does it all, this is an excellent option. Again, focus is silent, quick. I didn't have any issues. There's no motor noise or any type of issues like that, how you had with some of the older lenses, like the 1.4G was somewhat loud, especially when you compare it to these, which are near silent. So that's really it. The price, I would not pay $846, which I believe is the retail for this. I would either A, wait till it goes on sale, which Nikon does frequently. They usually take $50 to $150 off depending on what time of the year, or I would try to get it used, which is what I did. I paid around $600 for this used. I did make sure it was a USA copy because Nikon doesn't service gray market stuff, so just make sure for that. But if you can find it from $550 to $700, new or used, I think it's a great value. I don't know if I would pay the full price for it. Wait till you can get a deal on it, because they are out there. And that's it. It's made in China, but I don't care about that. It's a lot of our stuff's made in China nowadays, as long as it's good, well built, which it seems to be. Pretty well built. The only thing I'm noticing is that you are going to scratch this up if you're not careful. The focus ring, that metal doesn't feel like the thickest metal in the world, so if you bang it up against something, you are going to scratch it. I have had this outside a little bit in the rain, the moisture, what are you doing down there? So it's going to last you guys. Highly recommend this, especially if you can get it used. If you have any questions about this, feel free to leave the comments below and I will get back to you. Hit this like button if you want to see more videos like this, and I will get some up. Again, not a professional, I'm just a general consumer coming from the eyes of a normal person. That's it, guys. Hope you have a good rest of the weekend. It is Saturday. Hopefully I can get this video up over the weekend, Saturday or Sunday. I'm going to try to get it up today. But that's it. Thanks everyone for watching. Be safe this weekend, and I'll see you guys next time.